The Malt Liquor Project, what you know about that? The original Crazy Stallion malt liquor since 1992, what you know about that? Okay, I bought this at Flair Beverages in Manhattan, you heard me? So, brewed by Hornell Brewing Company of La Crosse, Wisconsin. Copyright Ferrotilo, Voltaggio and Sons. These are the makers of Arizona iced tea. Same type design as the Arizona iced tea wannabe techno. Originally, when this came out in 1992, it was called Crazy Horse. But this company, I say brewing company, but they really contract brew their stuff, their Arizona iced teas and this with other people. But they got in a lot of trouble with the tribe, the Indian tribe, so they just decided, we're not fighting this lawsuit. They changed it to Crazy Stallion. I used to have a bottle of Crazy Horse malt liquor, but my uncle, he gave it to me, but he had messed up the cap, so I just threw the whole thing away. That was a big mistake, I guess. It was actually one of the, it wasn't a twist cap. It was like a 22-ounce bottle, and it was a pry cap, which was strange, but it was from around the early to mid-90s. Can't seem to get this cap loose. I've had this before in the, I've had this before in the can. I bought a can of it. And label out. I had a can of this. I bought it in New York City on Boston Road at one of the corner stores for 99 cents. The cans are marked on the can 99 cents, so they can't charge more than that. And it's probably about 50 cents too high, 60 cents too high. Look at that. That's a sign of skunk. When you see those bubbles make that weird thing, could be a sign of skunk. I think this was $2.19 or $1.89, something like that. I bought a whole bunch of stuff at Flair Beverages. This 40 ounce and two other 40s, and a big tall thing of a Polish beer, and then I bought a 12 pack of Schaefer beer and some other stuff, and it came up to $17.77 after tax and deposit. So it wasn't exactly a whole lot of money for any of it. But usually when you see La Crosse, Wisconsin, that's a warning sign. That's a red flag to avoid. City Brewing. Not to say that City Brewing cannot do reputable beer. They have a brewery in Pennsylvania, and they also have a brewery in, what's the one in Pennsylvania? I think it's in Latrobe, the old Rolling Rock brewery, I think. Or is it Wilkes-Barre? I think it's Latrobe. And I know they own the old Schlitz brewery in Memphis. It's a pretty big operation, but they do a lot of these store brand, cheapo, off-the-wall beers like MX Ice and Beer 30 Light and Frio, that horrendous light beer from Texas. And but then they also brew beers for Pabst, like Special Export Light. They brew beers for Boston Brewing, like Samuel Adams. Sometimes you'll get a Samuel Adams, it'll say La Crosse, Wisconsin. They brew all of the Guinness Blonde American Lager. And those companies are not going to contract with an outfit that can't produce the stuff correctly, so they can do it correctly. But obviously, apparently, their big money, or a lot of their big money, is in putting out these very questionable brands. Believe it or not, this beer does get a better score on Beer Advocate and Rate Beer than this beer. Natural Ice gets an NA. Basically so low it can't score a point. Can even get a 0. This gets a 1 out of 100. Natural Ice is getting an awful score on Beer Advocate, but this is only getting a poor. Now the appearance isn't, too bad. It's golden. It's a little darker than a regular beer. They say it's 5.9% alcohol. I don't know where they found that out, because you sure won't find it on this company's website, because they don't have a website. So it looks pretty standard. The aroma is not bad. A little sweet, a little honey-like, but a little weird. Like, doesn't smell like a malt liquor. Doesn't smell correct. It's kind of smoky, but you know, it's like you might get 10 different ones. For the next 10 months, get one bottle and try it, and each of the 10 might smell and taste differently. That's going to tell you something right there. But the flavor, if you want to get into the malt liquor project and you try this first, that'll be about it for your malt liquor experience. You won't go anywhere else. This tastes so wrong. It's got an odd sweetness. It's not the cloying malt liquor sweetness and the twang. It's like a almost like the what is that, cactus juice artificial sweetener they use in the like those specialty Blue Moon beers. I can't think of the name of it. Agave. I know that's not supposed to be there. It's an odd. I see the bubbles, but in the I do see some. The sun is behind those trees. It's getting late. I do see some powdery sediment, which is not unusual. But it's like there's not the right carbonation level. It's like it's flat. I was drinking Dos Equis over there at Chili's with a friend. I drank 2 of those. You know, Chili's got the little rip-off mugs. It looks big, but then you realize it's maybe 8 to 10 ounces. I drank 2 of those. It's almost like not drinking anything. But that had like the proper carbonation. This is like bereft of carbonation. And the mouth feels light to medium, I guess. The finish is weird. It's like the whole thing is like strange. It's awry. Like that's a way you would describe this beer. It's like the whole thing is awry. It's like not right. It's too undercarbonated. It has too much of a neutral flavor, but then with this underlying agave sweetness. It has almost no hop bitterness. I mean, none. Really, to be honest, it's almost an indescribable beer. It's so peculiar that you can't really properly describe it. You would have to go out there and try it. I would recommend you not trying it. It's just something, I can't put my finger on it, but it's like there's something unpleasant about it. And I don't know what it is. Excuse me, but it has an unpleasant, overriding note to it. I wasn't pleased with the canned version, and I'm not pleased with this version. I might drink the rest of it. You hate to waste it, but golly, I can't say that it is like objectively bad. It does have some lacing. I mean, it's really weird. It's really strange. Now, how this can get a better score than natural ice, I cannot for the life of me figure it out. I mean, it's 5.9. This, apparently, they say, supposedly, that is for sure 5.9. That has body. That has the proper carbonation. That has the proper flavor. It has a decent hop bitterness for balancing and rounding. It has a crisp, snappy finish, a good overall Anheuser-Busch quality control with it. This one has none of that. It's really weird. Like I said, I could go on and on, keep talking about how weird this beer is. This is a Malt Liquor Project, so it's not a review, a formal review, but I think you can get my drift on how I'm feeling about this. the aroma has something strange. It's not beer 30, you know, roof and tar and rust or whatever, but it's these sell like crazy in New York City and the Bronx. Every corner store has Crazy Stallion, the 24-ounce cans, and they're 99 cents, and these big 40-ounce bottles, and they might have 22-ounce bottles. There's a lot of 22-ounce bottles in New York City. We don't get those around here anymore for the mass-produced beers, really. But why people buy it, I do not know. Maybe it's just the overall. But I mean, it's not worth the price. I mean, go out and get something better. But I don't know. I got a lot of thinking to do about if I'm gonna drink it all. But thank you for watching this project, and maybe you have some input on Crazy Stallion.